What up, what up, what up, everyone? This is your boy, Mr. Luke Evan Brooks. It's been a long time, been almost 4 months since we talked. And a lot of stuff has been going on. A lot of things have been going on. This is a prompt to live. I know some people are going to be like, wait a minute, what? He's on. And I'm coming back. Let me explain what happened. So, I have a cooking channel. And with this cooking channel, I had to stay focused on that for some time, get the content built up, and bring it out into the market. Now, if you're curious about that channel, it's called Cooking with Luke and Friends. So definitely check it out whenever you got the time. Cooking with Luke and Friends. Cooking with Luke and Friends. Now, this is your first time coming to the channel. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Now, on this channel, I talk about wealth. I talk about how we can get away from this working a 9 to 5 job or working for someone, working to do that politics, all that crap that you deal with at your job, and being able to hold on your own 2 feet. And to me, I needed to come out. I think it was a sign from above that I need to talk about it. And my whole thing is that wealth can be achieved within our own lifetime. Now, I'm not sitting there saying you need to sit here and wait until you're 80 years old and you only got 2 years to live. That sucks. That really sucks. And I don't want to live that way. And I told myself, I do not want to be like that. I want to be able to walk out on my own 2 feet, being able to enjoy different places. The Navy gave me that, right? But I know there's more to it than just being stationed out overseas or whatnot. So we have to be mindful of what we do and how we treat our money. Now, I see a lot of people buying things that ain't going to put money in their pocket. They're not going to put more money. I look at my dollars as like bloodhounds. I have bloodhounds sniff out more money for me. And that money is going to draw more money to me. It's going to go out and get more money for me. And my thing to that is that we have to be creative, right? In the world of technology, we have to get away from the things that are going to create distraction. We have to get away from the things that is not going to help us build wealth, that's taking money away from us. So for me right now, I had a serious look at what my credit cards are doing, like the current debt that I have, right? Yep. You're going to have debt when you're coming up through the things, right? And the thing is it debt that you are able to manage, or it's an uncontrollable debt? Now, there are debt calculators out here. You can go with the Dave Ramsey one where they show you the snowball effect, or the avalanche. Avalanche is basically more drawn about attacking interest. Anything like high interest rates needs to go first. Where the snowball effect is whoever's got the lowest balance is getting killed first, right? And I'm just doing the numbers, right? I have a business. I have a passive income business, right? And I also do YouTube, and I also do cooking, right? And we do digital products. And again, guys, this is about the strategy. And what you have to do is really get yourself in a position as a business. Now, I'm not sitting there saying you got to go out there and go more debt for it. That was my mistake, right? Didn't have a real plan, just thinking, oh, I can do this. I can get all these personal credit cards. And I were able to get them for part of the business. But the thing was, when that business folded, that's when we should stop. Instead of saying we can keep going, we keep going. We need to stop, assess the situation, then look at what we can do next, and then study that method of what works. So now we're down this path right now where we're dealing with ATMs, we're dealing with Airbnbs, and we're dealing with car rentals on top of the digital product stuff. And more stuff is going to come out. I know a lot of people are trying to contact me on Facebook, and I'm aware of what you're doing, guys. Right now, it's about getting focused. It's not about being pulled to the side about other people's products. And that's why I tell people that too. If you ever followed me on my Facebook, you'll never see me pitch my product to you. You'll never see me go in your inbox and initiate, hey, buy my stuff right now. Because that's irritating. That's not building a relationship. What I do and what I recommend for all of you is do show and tell. Use your profile, use your Facebook to demonstrate the things that you can do, the things that you're able to do with your product. Show and tell. And if people are interested, they will hit you up. Now, is it going to be instant? No, it's not going to be instant. But not only just Facebook, you need to hit up all the social media platforms that you can get your hands onto. If you can get a team like I have a paid team. I have them go out there and go get the things that I need to get going. At the end of the day, it helps me out because it makes me better because it tells me, it gives me a gauge of organically, meaning that I'm not sitting here paying for traffic. I'm not sitting here doing these crazy methods. I'm letting actual people see and they can be the judge, no harm, no foul. There's too many times that we get in a situation when it comes to trying to build something that we're jumping here, there, and everywhere. And I tell you, let's focus on that one project at a time. Hence, that's why I stepped away with the passive income for some time, just to focus on the cooking channel, just to get that up to speed. And I got up to speed. And I'm going to be dropping things. So the things that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to show you the content. I'm going to show you articles. We're going to talk about some of these articles. I'm going to drop the links for them, not in this video, but future videos. We're going to talk about some of the things that I'm currently doing. Not going to go all in detail. I don't want to bore you. I'm going to show you the opportunities that I'm being exposed to, and then possibly bring people on here for invites just to talk. I think that's the best method to go when it comes to our wealth. I think we shouldn't have to sit here and try to do magic tricks, do things that is not normal of us, because at the end of the day, you can't keep going. You got to be natural, right? So if you're the type of person who don't want to be on live on video, I have no problem being live on video because this is normal to me. But if you're the type to say, hey, I don't want to be doing that, you don't have to do it. Literally, if you don't feel like talking, you don't have to do it. I'm going to show you some of these softwares that you can get your hands on, and they can do the talking for you. If you feel like, hey, I can type real good, but I don't feel like talking, you can do that. If you want to generate video where you got people in the background doing things as you're talking about a subject, you can do that. And sometimes I did. I've shown that on some of my content on my videos where I don't feel like talking in front of the camera. I talk, but I want to talk on the camera, where I don't feel like doing camera or audio. I just get the article, use the article, make it fit the way it needs to fit, and then I have something that's going to do the talking for me. And we're just going to talk about that because at the end of the day, it's about how efficient are you using your 24 hours. If you're not using your 24 hours to the best of your ability, you're doing yourself a disservice. And to me, we don't have time to be wasting, especially when we're young, right? And to me, I mean, I seen too many people, and I see too many people getting their blessings stolen, or they're getting their blessings blocked. And I could tell you honestly, for me, I almost fell in that situation not too long ago. Want to be out here, people spending their money, having a good time, but it's like, how's this helping me? I'm not saying you got to be here and get a belt and pop yourself in the head every day, but at the end of the day, it's time for play. It's just the same way as my mom taught me and my dad taught me. It's time for play and there's time for work. All right. You can't sit there and say, well, all play, all play. I hear people talk their stuff. I hear people say, well, I'm gonna get my business is going. But then I look at how they act. I see how people interact. And a person with a business mindset is not the same as a person, everyday average Joe, right? They're not. They're not sitting here flaunting a bunch of jewelry. They're not out here going, living it up at every club, every night, things like that, right? Not saying they can't go celebrate, they can't have fun, they can't have nice things. But what I'm saying is that they go a different way. Now, I don't know if y'all heard my story about the man who was at Domino's, but I'll give another spiel, short spiel. Now, the way we could tell someone with wealth versus someone with no wealth is very easy. The person with no wealth is not going to sit there again. They're not going to sit there having fancy cars, fancy suits. You see stuff like that on TV, but these wealthy people wearing regular clothes. Hell, they halfway dress themselves. I'm not trying to say they walk around half naked, but they don't sit here and be like, hold on, I gotta go to my masseuse and then massage my face and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, once I was working at Domino's Pizza, my boss was like, I don't know whose van that is blocking the view of the store, but if they don't get it out here in about 20 minutes, I'm gonna call a tow truck. And it was, okay, we keep making pizzas. This old man walks in here. He like he's not homeless, but he don't look like he got any money. And it was a nice van. I'm talking about brand new. I think my boss knew the models. Man, that's one of them state of art vans, but they can't park it here. It's a fire zone. So he's like, "Can you help me out? I'm just a little hungry. See, you can get me some food." And the manager didn't ask, was that his van? He didn't say, "Do you have any money?" He just said, "Hold your money. I make one." He made it thinking this person didn't have any money. Made a pizza. It was one topping pepperoni pizza. Thing it was a thin crust. And he was like, "Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you." Tell me why he walks behind the van, gets in the van, and drive off. I can't make this up. And the manager was like, "I never do that again." And again, going off impressions of people, can't judge a book by its cover. To me, we have to be smart. We have to be focused on what we're trying to do with our money. Now, for that case, guess the guy we're trying to save a lot of money. But most cases, what we got going on now with our wealth in our country, in the United States, is not looking too good. A lot of people getting their savings account drained. And I talk about that all the time. They're getting their life savings just eaten away because of what's going on with this inflation, this runaway inflation. You have people who are worried about their mortgages. They're not going to be able to pay them because of what's going on. And cars, people's like, you know what? That car looks good, but I don't have money to pay for that because interest rates are going up, right? And they're going to be up for some time. So people shouldn't sit there and be like, let me hold on to everything, but they have to be smart with their money. We normally think, oh, we'd be good, this and that. And I'm curious about how they're going to do the tax codes come next year, because that's going to be an interesting thing too. But for us, understanding our money is not just something that we just need to throw away, just buy stuff, consumable stuff, and knowing, hey, I can hold on to this to go invest in something. For example, the ATMs. I know people still gonna pull money and still got to pay bills. Let me just buy an ATM and put it somewhere here and make some money happen. You could do that. Nothing's stopping you. I think it's very smart to look at all the avenues of what you're trying to do. Now, questions are, people want to know, do they have to give up their day job? You don't necessarily have to give up your day job. For me, the reason why I jumped into this is that I want leverage. I'm going to have leverage. I'm not going to sit here. I'm contemplating if I want to do the whole 20 years. I got 13 years. So it's just like in my mind, it's like, do you still want to do this thing? Some people are like, I'll be a lifer, things like that. But if you don't feel any value, I got this from my friend. If you feel like uh, you can't contribute, not because you don't want to, because people don't want you to, then that's going to tear you up, right? And to me, when I was going through, I felt that with going up, it was no problem. Going through these last few years, it's just been like, well, why do we need you here? Things like that. And I know I'm valuable. I know my worth. If you don't know your worth, then something's wrong. But I know my worth, and I know what God's gave me, right? I know my value. And that's the thing that a lot of people have to take in consideration. You have to know your value, know what your worth is. If you know you got a skill, you have a talent, because before I joined the Navy, I was making more money initially, right? Making more money, working at AT&T, talking to people, interacting with people, making more money. My first year, I was hurt in the Navy. I was like, man, damn, I joined the Navy for this? This ain't nothing, right? Slowly in time it increased, but it makes me wonder, what would have happened if I would have stayed that course, still stay in sales, still stay doing that? Bigger opportunities, right? Possible, don't know. But my thing is that I want to be intelligent. I want to be where I can use my money. I can create wealth within my lifetime. And it doesn't take you 40 years to do that, right? This depends on you. How quickly do you want to get your number? Because wealth can be a different number for everyone. It's going to be a different number. Wealth might mean to you $100,000, where someone might say $100 million, or someone might say, I want $5 million, right? Or whatever it may be. The thing that we have to take in consideration, what are those vehicles that we're going to use to get us to that destination? Imagine, if you will, you're trying to get to California from North Carolina. And I want to go to California. I want to go to San Diego. Okay, you got your plan listed out. How do we get there? Do we walk? We know that's gonna take a longest time, right? Probably. Do we get a bicycle? Do we get a scooter? Do we get a motorcycle? Do we get a car? Do we get a semi? Do we take a train? Do we fly a plane? Do we go by sea and go through the Panama Canal to get on the other side? What do we do exactly? And then once we make that decision on how we're gonna get there, what what road are we going to take if we're going to go by road? What train, what rails are we going to hit? What is our provisions that we're going to have in place? So if we do get a little sidetracked, where's our roadside assistance? What if something set back? What, and it's going to be setbacks, guys. That's the thing about life. Those setbacks can either do one, make you better, where you're like, hey, I fell on my butt, but I'm getting back up. Or two, you can stay down there and feel sorry for yourself. Like I was telling myself earlier today, I was like, no one cares. No one cares about what's going on with me. No one cares about that, right? They just care about me getting the job done. So if these people don't care about me, they only care about the job, what's that say? So we got to have better, like I said, we gotta have better look upon ourselves. We gotta have value on ourselves. Like, how much is my time dedicated at a job? They don't care about me. They just care about me getting the job done. They don't care about my well-being. They don't care about any of those things right there. And then we gotta, because that, I'm telling you, my friend just recently did that, and she was going through some things in her life. Not gonna list no names, whatnot. She knows who she is, but I feel after she took that step, that leap, I would say leap of faith, she knew that was right for her. It's like everything open, right? And I seen that. I know this person. We went to school together, classmate, and I knew, you know, this is a better path. It may not look better. It may not look lucrative. Man, oh, that don't look too lucrative. But you don't know that. You don't know where that's going to go. It's like the game of life. You might get the job of being an astronaut, and that job doesn't pay as well as the man who owns multiple banks. You don't know, but we have to be smart about it. We have to think about what we're going to do. We got to think about what do we need to do, because if you say, hey, I don't want to do 20 years, for example, for me, military, I don't want to do 20 years. And let's say I get the number that I need to say, you know what, I'm good. I'm good because I think it's going to be everything, right? I look at it like that versus someone said, well, I'm going to stay in, I'm going to get my retirement. And yeah, and that can have benefits too. You're going to be good with medical. You're going to be good with medical. I mean, you're going to have VA services regardless. And then you get your little stipend, right? But that stipend, that pension, doesn't mean anything if your cost of living keeps going up. What if what you could have did a few years before you retired would have springboard you better than what you got now? You got to think about that. And that's what I talk to people about too. It's like my dad asked me this. He's like, how are you able to run a business while in the military active duty? I say, it's about me getting into the right vehicles. And not, no pun intended, because I do have rental cars. It's about actually looking at, okay, when I did the car business, right? Well, I'm doing it now. Which vehicle was I going to use? And when I mean vehicle, please think of brand. And we'll just say brand. What brand am I going to use to actually carry me over? You know, you have Turo, you have Get Around, You have car hype, I believe, and then you have the veil. Okay. I looked at everything. I looked at the SWOT analysis, the strengths, the weaknesses, opportunities, threats. I looked at everything that each one brought to the table. And I looked at a veil. I said, okay, with a veil, I can make some money if I make these adjustments before I step into this ring. If I don't go for the most high end car, if I go for a used car that's been out for a couple of years at least, that's a reliable car, do my research on these vehicles, then you can still make a profit off of them, right? They take care of the rest versus going to Turo. Yeah, you want to get a car, not have to be a Tesla. I see everyone doing that, but you get a car, starter car. People want to get around. They rent your car, but you got to make sure you take care of the car. You go pick up the car. You go do this. You go do that. You do all these things. I'm like, I ain't gonna have time. Literally, I'm not gonna be in town. And you grow from there, and then you scale. You look at it and say, how often can I scale? What can I do? What's my leverage to allow me to scale? And then you still grow. Just because I got that right, just because I have the car business going, that doesn't say forget about the business that we do here with the products that I show you, the software I show you, or the cooking business, right? I still cook. I have a cooking show. We still look at those things, and then we look at continuing education. Your education does not stop when you're in the 12th grade and then you graduate. It doesn't continue. You don't stop after you get your 4 degree. If you do go to a 2 or 4 year degree school, it doesn't stop when you get your master's or PhD. It never stops. When you stop learning, then you're stop growing. Growing is not going to be like physically growing, right? I ain't grew in a minute. Growing is like growing your mind so you can be wiser, be sharper. Because some people might not be looking at the same thing. It's like you looking at a painting. This painting back here. You may be looking at the words. You'd be trying like, oh, I want to see how the words look. You may be looking at the panther. You may be looking at Chad over here. Chad with Bozeman. Rest in peace. It's your interpretation. But if you got the marbles, if you got all the cans for the six pack, as they say, if you have that, you're gonna be able to say, okay, based off this, if I put my money away, I can do this. It's just like talking to my mom. Yeah, you can use the savings account if you don't want to, put your money in the market. And she's an older woman. You want to put your money away. You don't want to be in a situation where you're like, man, I'm hurting for money, and you don't want your money to hemorrhage because with the savings account, yeah, it gives you ability to protect your money, but they pay you so little, and they turn and take your money out the bank and give it to other people. If you're going to do that, you might wrap your money up in the CDs and bonds, or get into a particular specialized savings bank, a bank that gives you high yield savings versus, the 0.02 or whatever it is, right? We have to be smart with our money because wealth is within our lifetime. You got to look at what these rich people do. They don't say, I worked at this one job. They have different things in different places. Right now, the stock market is in a strange place that we have not seen in quite some long time. A lot of these businesses that we thought we'd never be able to get into, now they're within our grasp. Now, a lot of people are worried. A lot of people listen to what other people saying. Oh, don't get in, don't get into it. I remember one guy was telling me that he's gonna wait till it hits the bottom. I looked at him because I know I went to school. I understood that. You never know what the bottom is of the market until it's months later. It's not like it's cutting off these lights. I cut off the light. It's dark now. You know if it's dark or not. Oh, he dimmed the light. I could tell. It's going to be a gradual increase that it's going to take over time. It's not something that you're going to be able to catch. By the time you think you caught it, it's already been in that direction. You just have to be smart with your investments. And I always tell people you have to be smart with what you're looking at too. We know companies like Google, Amazon, Apple, Tesla. We know these companies are down low, right? But listen to the companies I listed. These companies are not going to go bankrupt anytime soon, right? You got Elon Musk messing with people at Twitter, messing with because he owns the company. So the guy got money for Tesla, or not Tesla, but money for Twitter. He definitely gonna have money for Tesla. The thing is, for you, is how much are you willing to invest to buy some of that stock while it's low? Because it's not gonna stay low forever, and it's not gonna go up high tomorrow either. But the thing is, if you're willing to ride something for a couple of years, you could be sitting on top of the world. And a lot of people don't look at it like that. I knew a guy in the Navy. Someone told me about that when Bitcoin came out, it was like $10 a coin, and he started buying it, paycheck after paycheck, just buying it, buying like it's water. Like I'm thirsty, I need it. He was buying it. People were like, "What you doing, dude?" And he was buying it. He's buying it, just buying it. And then as the years he played the long, he played the end game. I said. By the time they got up into, I think, millions of dollars, he's like, "I'm out of here." That's the leverage I'm talking about. That's within your lifetime. Like people, oh, he's just lucky. No, I've heard stories like that where people looked at something long enough and they put money in there. The risk was okay. I'm putting a little bit of money here. It was $10. Just like the penny coins or penny stocks or whatever. Okay, well, worst case scenario, I don't get paid or whatever. I don't get paid where I think I'm gonna get paid. But imagine you being active duty in the military and you sitting on millions of dollars because of what you did when you first got in back in 2008, 2009 when Bitcoin. And let me see. I think Bitcoin was $10. It might have been lower than that. I can tell you right here on the phone. I think it's funny though, I think people think you can't make this happen, but you can make this happen. Uh-oh. Let's see. We didn't freeze. I hope we didn't freeze. I don't know. We'll see if we froze or not. The camera froze. The system froze. Bitcoin back in 2009. Sorry about that, guys. The thing went out. So I was looking at my phone and looking at this, right? I talked about 2009. It wasn't even a dollar yet. 2010, according to historical data at investing.com, Bitcoin's price never broke above 40 cents per Bitcoin in 2010, but did manage to hit the level in early 2011. Then in February, it crossed $1. Now you imagine that guy who sat there and just bought it, just buying it, just buying it, just buying it. A lot of people trying to stay away from Bitcoins or what happened with FTX, but you have to be smart. You have to do your research. It's your due diligence. That's what I learned in school for my master's, talking to business lawyer or professor, to say it's about your due diligence. What are you doing? Are you going all the way to the end to figure out the thing, or are you just like, hey, I'm just gonna look and go? We have to be smart with our money. Wealth is achievable within our lifetime, and it's not gonna take 40 years. So, guys, I hope that this helps you out. I'm about to wrap up because I got some more work to do. I got to make up for lost times, as my mom said. If you feel like this video has provided you with valuable information, or you just like I'm enjoying this, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up or give me a thumbs up. I gotta stop saying us. It's just me here. If you feel like you want more, and I think you definitely do, if you're serious about money, you're serious about how to get this going, because we're going to talk about how everything works, right? And I'm going to aim this towards the folks in America. I'm going to aim at what I know. I'm not going to sit here and make stuff up and be like, I think this is this and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell you what I did to get to a certain point at where I'm at now. Please go ahead and subscribe. It's very important that you subscribe because every time you subscribe, you'll get notifications. You get notifications of when I am posting videos. And I appreciate y'all guys. I appreciate you when you do. That lets me know. If you feel like I need to talk about a particular subject, let me know. We definitely going to be talking about a lot of things, going to be showing you a lot of things. I'm not going to sit here and waste your time. So, guys, just keep it real with me, and I keep it real with you. Other than that, descriptions down below. If you have any questions or comments, please check me out. Till then, talk to you later. Take care.